Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Salt Marsh for a little bit more Purple Revisited. Hope you're all having a good day. I just thought I might show a little bit more of what I've been doing at the cap. Typically when I'm playing one of my characters in its nominal end build, i.e. with suitable gear, I'll go around the legendary expansions preparing the sagas, and I've been doing that on Reaper 4. As mentioned, 6 is too much for him. He can handle the incoming damage, most of it, but the his single target damage is not sufficient to chip down at most end bosses in reasonable time. So I stick it on 4, and broadly speaking, he's been doing very well. No deaths and precious little dodgy situations. I just wanted to, I guess, revisit what I've been doing, because I'm sort of getting into the swing of things now with this cold pact thing, and what works, what doesn't. I've found the odd thing on my travels that I'm very pleased to say still is subject to the absolute zero. I'm a bit disappointed, as touched on already, that it says there enemies made of fire will instead be destroyed with no save. It's totally not the case. I've tried it on fire creatures, clear fire creatures, not just forge wraiths, and it's not working. It's allowing them a save, so I don't know what's going on there. But on the plus side, mage fire cannons in Shan, that's brilliant because they can be a real pain. What else have we got? Well, still with Shan, the mechanical stuff seems to be quite susceptible, like shield guardians and the mechanical dog things. And just recently here in the Salt Marsh, I picked up one of the water weirds, one of the two boss water weirds that appears in the Thousand Teeth quest. Got one of those with that. So it's still just a question of trying. Most of the things will just save and laugh at me, but every now and again I find something that that I can target with it, so that's nice. Otherwise, the tentacles is far from useless. It's doing a half decent job. Well, certainly there's a slow with no save, but there is still a damage side, and occasionally I can hear them not saving, so that's good. Tempest is very nice. I think because of our lack of decent single target damage, my typical strategy is, where possible, go as far as possible, gather up as many creatures as I can, and then just unleash the AoE. And in the time it takes me to chip down 20, or chip down 1, I can chip down 20. So, and that's the typical strategy in a group as well for this build, to just contribute frittering away at the opponents that are around him, while the bigger damage dealers do their thing from a safe distance behind. I'm pleased about the triggering of our daunting roar. That seems to be doing very nicely. The paralyzing seems to be triggering quite often, so that's great. And also the what's it called, cerulean wave there on our hat is going off reasonably often too. So both of them no save, and no save is very popular, as you know, for my efforts with this. I was thinking, I was quite pleased that it's doing a lot better than most out and out tank builds would do at clearing content. I suppose if you compare against, I mean, you could have a paladin, I guess, that's got better defensive stats than this, and was spec'd for damage, which I guess is why that class is popular, and fighter too, for the Reaper 10 crowd, because they have nice defences they can go at, as well as retaining the strong damage potential. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, let's have a go at one of the quests in here and just see if I can show a little bit better, because I was a bit where are we going now? Let's have a go at the one everybody hates, the lizard folk lair. I think that's danger at Dunwater, isn't it? Yeah, I kind of rushed into the recording I did at the end, didn't I? Let's see if we can demonstrate this now. Water weird. Although we are technically on normal here, aren't we? There you go. Beautiful. I guess anything would work on normal, even my 50 odd save. Yeah, I kind of rushed in a little bit to the recording I did for the legendary content, so I was sort of pressing all the wrong keys, and it was a bit of a shambles. I just want to show something a little bit more ordered. So typically with a group, I'll try and get the shield throw in early, because that, if you didn't know, that works off your highest stat. So that is a nice source of CC, because that's working off our con. Unfortunately, I can't show you the DC for it. I suspect it's a little over 100. I can't show it because it's not displayed there, but I think a little over 100. So get that in first, because that's 6 seconds of precious bonus helpless damage against the target. Get all our defensive layers up before we start. I'm trying as well, wherever, you know, in between fights, to keep these 10 hit points up going for the next encounter. So that means taking the rage off and re-raging, and also hitting the shining through. That gets us about 2,500 hit points, as you can see. So trying to make a little group, shield in, AoEs in. You can see they're helpless for a second, so let's make the most of it. And there we go with the paralysing thing there. You, sir, are not playing the game. So a trigger there from the hat that we've got, the Cerulean Wave. Happy days. Again, shield in. Let's get the AoEs going. We're not setting any speed records, but we're slowly chipping down everything this way, so that's a pretty good way to do it, I think. I have a terrible tendency to just wander past rooms with things in on this quest. Again, a nice trigger of the oh, hello. So you can see it's going off quite often. Well, it's supposed to go off 25% of the time, and I think it triggers on our ticks of our cold, what do you call it, dragon breath thing, the energy vortex. And also I know it definitely triggers on the pulsing aura thing that we've got.
Queen greets you. I must speak with you, outsider. We both face a threat that
Even though we haven't got evergreen anymore, the reductions in spell point cost in the draconic tree are helping us, and as is the fact that we are leaning heavily on 4 SLAs for our main spells, so we're not burning through mana too badly. Okay. Carnage Reaper to the face. Ah, Soul of Ice. I wondered why he was surviving so nicely. I guess it was pretty obvious. So he's taking reduced damage from our cold. You can see what I meant about the energy vortex thing. I mentioned that the cooldown on it, which I think is 12 seconds, and it lasts for 15. So if you're in a long, like a protracted battle, you can literally have that always up, which on a build like ours, where the focus is centered on us, it's very nice. I think I'm about to go the wrong way. So I'm going to lead with the shield to tie them in there. Look at all those lovely triggers. Look at that. Beautiful. I wonder if there's something nicer that could be done with a more offensive build with that thing. I haven't experimented with that before. I just thought it might be a nice thing to use for this one. Oh, hello. You're nicking all our health. So quick restoration there of the temporary hit points. Come on, get together, people. They're not obliging me. They are obliging me in this sense. They're showing just how often this this nice raw thing, fearsome raw thing triggers. That's great. Are these boss types? I think they are, aren't they? Yeah. We should all crowd together, but they're not obliging me, are they? That wasn't too bad. Okay, so yeah, unless we get something that is immune to cold, generally speaking, we do alright, unless it's an end boss, and they do take a bit of chipping down. Where am I going, apart from the wrong way? Whenever I try to multitask, it's the same. I end up going the wrong way or walking into something. I think I mentioned in the past, a lot of my Warlock lives, my main character did quite a number of racial lives as an acid Warlock. He never did much of anything at the cap. It was more just going around the TRs. A very, very effective way to level, because not much is resistant to acid, less still healed by it. But this is the first time I've played around with the cold pact, and I've enjoyed it. As mentioned, I would like to see what one of these can do properly kitted out at the cap for the DCs. That Absolute Zero, I think, has some nice potential, and if you paired it with some of the nice instant kills the Warlock gets access to, I think that could be quite a lot of fun. I'm not a huge fan of the sort of crowding element in here. It gets very claustrophobic, and like now you just can't see what the hell you're doing. In fact, the squishier builds I've had in here have died quite often because of that. Just get boxed into a corner and... Right, can we have you all together, or reasonably together? That'll do nicely. Rinse and repeat, people. Well, there's a red crown over there, don't like that. That stun was completely random, by the way. Colours of the Queen trigger, nothing to do with me. I wish I could create stuns. I think we've seen already. It's just nice, steady away, no real danger of death. Reasonable pace, unless you happen to be a total flying through the quest merchant. No sprint boost on this build. I'm sure the purists would be appalled. Freedom of movement, okay, displacement. I'm guessing this might be one that the VIPs would skip, given the option. It is a long old quest. Can we shield throw you? Yes. Nice. Oh, got a freezing on him as well. Beautiful. Now for the actual red bosses, it's the only time I do, because it's very mana inefficient, but I do throw in the single target Nyax, Creeping Cold and Greater Creeping Cold to try and chip down the single bosses in a little bit more reasonable of a time. About 2/3 of the process is usually when I realise the buggers are immune to cold. I think we're getting some half decent cold damage there, so well worth doing. So not too painful. Oh, I can teleport back here, can't I? Wisdom is too low to use this item. You must be joking. I am wise. I have 30 wisdom. Am I going the right way here? I hope so. I think I am. There we go. Happy days.
A grateful Queen Othokin says
Right, in honour of that awful mess I made at the end of the Lords of Dust quest, I am going to avail myself of the shrine here. Although, I think I've already demonstrated on this build, you can do very nicely just a bit slower if you run out of mana. I mean, that's all the mana really is for this. It's a tool to speed things up, if you will, for the quicker kills, because your 2 AoE blasts are free, your shield throw is free, your renewal heal is almost free, and your shining through is free, as is the manipulation of the rage. So he could stand for quite a long time running on fumes mana wise, and also do a bit of damage.
Near the cave entrance is a doorway that leads to the sub-chief's quarters.
Okay.
I've sent some of my most trusted followers to open the sealed doorways, giving you access deeper inside the caves.
Look, can we have a nice group here? I think we can. More nice paralysing fears. Lovely stuff. Even Black Razor's happy. I thought about maybe trying.
You spot the spear crest on the
I
top
didn't
of
do
the
it because the whole idea of the build is to be as tanky as possible, really.
barrier.
But I thought,
The rebel officer
given the
laughed.
focus on the cold
That creates barriers
and the sort of centered on us,
to get there.
I was wondering how the Magus cold thing in melee range might work for us. I think it might be a good accompaniment for all this kind of stuff. But it would mean I would have to drop probably the sentinel tree that we're in, so I would like to try one day the aura Warlock, but more offensive, like maybe charisma first and constitution second, reverse it. The downside to that, I suppose, I wouldn't be able to just jump in and serve as a robust character if a group needed that. Although I know the top groups just damage things down anyway and have no need of such characters, but they can be a nice crutch for newer people or first life characters to lean on. In fact, one of the nicer things about this build is, rather than just hammering everything, which something like my druid could quite easily do for people if they want you sort of carrying people through the quest, you're providing a platform with this one for the others to be able to do their thing and to sort of shine in turn. So I think it's a bit nicer than just destroying everything in the quest and saying, oh, there you go, there's so many experience for you there. Sort of gives the others a chance as well to spread their wings and show what they can do. I'm loving this this fear paralysing thing, and that too is a source of helplessness, so that's giving us some nice bonus damage for the 6 seconds it's up. Nice short cooldown on the 2 AoE blasts, the Warlock, so that too is nice when we're surrounded. Another nice trigger of the against the boss too, nice trigger of our hat. Just the 5,000 temporary hit points there.
Now that you've saved Sub-Chief Irtos, the Lizard Folk Rebellion has finally been put to rest. The Lizard Folk
For this
have
level,
focused on
that
reclaiming
kind
their
of thing is
home
total
in the
overkill. But when you start going into Reaper 6 and above, things can soon, well, as you saw with my Druid series, things can very soon shred a couple of thousand in a hit. Gather round, people, gather round. You're not gathering round, what's the matter? We have an antisocial creature among us. So we're having our armour class, at least at this level, and against these lowly targets, it's generating some misses. I think we're around the 240 area. I'm not stopping for one on his own. You're going to have to follow us. He's got no friends. Where are all your friends? Find some friends.
Ambassadors from
I'll
3
find you
different
some
tribes
friends.
wait within this cavern. The Bully
There's some
Folk,
friends for
the
you down
Troglodyte,
here.
and the Sea Elves. You've secured the Sea Elves' support.
Now then,
in the
can we
alliance.
intimidate? We've used intimidate to, well as intimidating creatures in quests. In the dialogues, there's often an intimidate option. We've been able to use that. Of course, now I've said that, there's no intimidate here. Could try diplomacy, because we're charisma class. Yeah, okay.
You've concluded negotiations with the Bullywug tribe.
And we've got to go and fetch your necklace now, haven't we?
The ambassador of the Troglodyte tribe has asked you to find his stolen necklace and deal with the thief responsible.
Oh no, another one on his own. Let's go and try and find at least one other friend. Now if the necklace is in here, we can take the two together. It's not. I'm going to go in there anyway because... Oh, alright, we'll deal with you there. So this is just a rank waste of mana in my opinion. Single target. So we are getting a reasonable amount of... see the cold ticking away on him there without me doing anything. I put the 3 cold dots in. So that's another thing that I never had with the acid option. We're using all 3 of these little cold things. I do use on occasion the sleet storm as well to limit enemy movement. Ice one I've used a bit less, a bit sad at that because it's one of my staples with the cold druid. But there doesn't really seem to be much of a reason to use it here. The damage is minimal at best, and there's no unlike with the druid, there's no effect on the enemy saves by leading with that. The only reason to use it over Sleet Storm would be the not needing to have freedom of movement, because I only have freedom. I don't have it on the gear, I have it with this little bottle thing. And if people along with me don't have it either, it could cause quite a problem, that. So typically, especially in a group, you would only use the Sleet Storm if you also have the mass freedom, or have given everybody freedom at the start of the quest. Got all the cold dots on him because he wasn't dying fast enough, and he obligingly gave us a soul. Marvellous. going in there, aren't we? Don't tell me why my wisdom isn't high enough, because I don't know how else to get in here. Let's see if we can do the old freeze on you. Nope. Cold dots on him as well. I don't think he's going to last too much longer. Very nice.
Return this to the Troglodyte ambassador.
Okay. I think we should probably... Should we stop at the shrine? No, I think we'll be okay. We can just use some Ring of Spell storing on the way.
You've secured the Troglodyte's tribe support in the Alliance. Alarm bells ring out from the
Right,
Central
now I
Ocean
don't...
Ground.
Oh, there is a champion sort of thing at the end of this, isn't there? But not an out-and-out boss.
Just as you
Let's get ourselves in the middle of all the action. I think if we can attract the attention away from these defenders, maybe we can keep them alive, and that might be good for us. But the fact that there are these defenders around and it's not all focusing on us is obviously helpful for keeping our life up. That looks nasty over there. Okay. Yeah, as mentioned already, I'm very pleased at how this energy vortex thing's panned out. It's working just perfectly with the build. This is another perfect illustration of the always up time that it has. We're in almost permanent combat here, and I just have to go and stand next to something and it's taking the beating. Of course it's only usually doing half damage because our charisma is not sufficiently high. What's that, 65 on a reflex? No, that's not going to cut it, is it? Right, let's get the cold dots out. So Nyax, as a reminder, can stack up to 3 times on the target, so I must remember, it's a little bit awkward because it's on quite a long cooldown, but I must remember to keep recasting that as opposed to the other two, the creeping colds. If you recast it before the end of the duration, you are kind of nerfing your damage because the ticking starts again, and those two are backloaded spells doing the most damage in the final ticks. Look at all this still going. Okay. Well, I thought that was a pretty good effort. As mentioned, just no danger of death basically, and just sort of chilling through, even against the boss. Against the boss, it's less of a danger of death than focusing. Well, it's good that there's no danger of death because it allows me to focus on the cooldowns on the spells. If you can remember, when we were doing the leveling, at one stage I was thinking, well, should I be swinging a weapon, you know, in between the cooldowns, because I think we only had the 2 blasts at the time, and I was thinking, well, what am I going to do in between? And now there's the tentacles, the tempest, there's the 3 cold dots, the shard storm, dragon breath, plus the 2 blasts, and in between times recasting displacement and the 2 potions to give us a bit more force and cold spell power. So there's quite a bit to oh, and the shield throw as well if we're in with other things than just a boss. So quite a bit to keep an eye on. Definitely no, I don't find myself wanting for a swinging of a weapon or anything like that doing this. Okay, I think I probably met my objective there. I just wanted to show you something possibly a little bit smoother than the fly by the seat of your pants thing I think I recorded first time out. Just to show that my typical approach with the build, shield throw into a group, send the AoEs down, and then against the boss get some single target damages over time in for some extra damage. As mentioned already, one of the nice draws of these 3 for our build is there's no save, so they just take the damage, and anything with no save like the Tempest as well is just really beneficial for us with our low DCs. Tempest, sorry, does have a save for the initial tick, but if they continue to stand in the area of effect, as they almost invariably do when you're in the middle of it, there's no save against the ticks afterwards, as I think it says there, doesn't it? Yeah. Right, I think that's all I wanted to show for this one. So thanks very much as always for looking, and I will speak to you soon. Take care.